Welcome to Inner Authority. This podcast is for people who know that they are capable of more, not in a striving way, but in a quiet, internal knowing. It's for the people who've done a lot right, who are intelligent, who are self-aware, who are successful by most measures, but they still feel that tension inside, like something has gone slightly off track. Not because you're broken, and not because you need fixing, but because at some point you learn to lead yourself from effort instead of trust. Inner authority is about coming back from that. It's about restoring your relationship with your own knowing, your decisions, your direction, not by pushing harder, but by listening more honestly. My name is Kelly Brummer. I'm the founder of Start and Succeed and Inner Authority podcast. Each episode of this podcast is an invitation for you to slow down, to notice what's actually true for you, and to lead yourself from that place again. So if you're done outsourcing your authority and you're ready to come back into alignment with yourself, then you're in the right place. In today's episode, I want to talk to you about your own internal power and how it's easy for us to forget about it, to not trust ourselves, to not believe that we know we're on the right track. So there's something today I want you to be reminded of, not because you don't know it, but because it is easy to forget. And that is that you are not powerless, you are not incapable, and you are not starting from nothing. So if you have a pause for a moment and you look back at where you've come from, where you've been, all the things that you've gone through, you'll see evidence of this. You've been through hard things before, moments where it would have been easier to just stop, to shrink, to disengage, but you didn't. Instead, you adapted, you figured things out, you carried yourself through. And that didn't happen by accident. That was your inner authority at work. Even if you didn't have language for it at the time, what often gets called mindset work is actually something so much deeper. It's not about convincing yourself to feel confident. It's about staying connected to yourself when pressure shows up, when fear appears, when doubt gets so loud, and when other people start projecting their uncertainties and their fears onto you. Now, real inner leadership isn't loud. It's steady. It's the part of you that can pause and ask, what do I know to be true right now? And then stay with the answer. There will always be voices around you. Some of them will be very well-meaning, some fearful, some limited by paths that they never chose consciously. Most people, I say most people, aren't trying to hold you back. What they're trying to do is to protect themselves from their own discomfort. So when somebody tells you what you can't do, it's actually worth getting curious and looking into it rather than getting defensive. Is their feedback actually grounded? Is there something within that feedback that they're telling you that is half true, maybe a little bit true? Or is it fear wearing concern as a mask? And that distinction matters because ignoring every opinion from other people isn't leadership. But at the same time, neither is outsourcing your authority. And that's where self-trust is rebuilt. It's not through certainty, it's through honesty. And there will be times that you choose something and then you later realize, well, that just wasn't right. Doesn't mean that you failed. It means that you were willing to decide. And there will be decisions that quietly change everything. They won't change anything dramatically. They won't be instant, but they'll be clean. Life, as we live it, moves in cycles. ebb, flow, expansion, contraction. The work isn't to avoid discomfort and challenges. The work is to actually stay connected to yourself inside of all of that, to know your non-negotiables, to recognize when something feels off, even if it looks good on the outside, to notice when you're pushing past your own signals instead of listening to them. So when that voice comes up and goes, do you really want this? Is this the right thing? And you go ahead and do it anyway. Have you actually listened to why that voice is coming through? And this isn't about having all of the answers. It's about being willing to come back to yourself again and again. Keep asking yourself, does this sit with me? Does this feel true for me? Is this in line with what I truly want? Or is this somebody else that's trying to not necessarily dictate, but persuade through other means? Because at the end of the day, this is your life. We only have one. We're only here for a very, very short period of time. So not later, not someday, right now, here, you are living. So if you are not where you want to be, if you know that you're meant for more, if you know that there's so much more out there that you could be doing, that's what you need to lean into, and you need to sit with and decide upon yourself. And the power that you're looking for isn't something that you need to earn from external validation. It's something that you're returning to yourself. So it's looking inwards, it's sitting with yourself. It's asking yourself the questions to make sure where you are right now and where you believe you want to go is actually the right path. And understanding yourself and how to motivate when those challenges come along, because they will happen. How are you going to continue to push forward and take you on that journey? And that's all about self-leadership. That's all about inner authority. It's keep coming home to you. Keep coming home to you. Listen to what other people have to say, because other people's opinions do matter. Some do, some don't. But it is worthwhile getting outside perspectives, because if we're in our own heads, often we can make wrong decisions if we're not in the right place. However, you should always run that through your own internal filter. So you're not lacking power, you're forgetting it. Before you move on with your day, just notice what shifted whilst you were listening to this episode. Not what you learned, but what settled. Inner authority doesn't announce itself loudly. It feels like a quiet agreement inside of you, inside of your body and inside of your mind. If this episode met you there, stay with the podcast and go and subscribe so that you don't have to go looking for this again. It will be here when you're ready to listen. No pressure, no urgency. Just a return to yourself, one conversation at a time.